If you've ever tried to make a rhinestone design in Cricut Design Space, you already know the struggle. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it. I created this shirt using my Cricut. However, I use Silhouette Studios to create the rhinestone template. If you've ever wondered ways that you can combine both softwares, I'm here to show you exactly how you can do it. Let's jump into it. So for all my Cricut users out there, you know we do not have a rhinestone feature built into our platform. This is why I actually invested in Silhouette Studios. I love my Cricut and I hope at some point they get this feature added to Design Space, but until then, I decided to use both of these platforms together. Let's start with materials. I have a black tank, 2 colors of Caesar Easy Weed Eco Stretch, Magic Flock, rhinestone brush, and my rhinestones. These are hot fix rhinestones in size 10. Now for our measurements. My design is super simple. Measuring 3 inches down from the neck, my full design is going to be about 5 inches. And then measuring the width, I want my furthest rhinestones to go as far as 10 inches. Now over in Silhouette Studios, it took a little bit of time for me to get used to where all of the elements were, but I found it actually pretty simple to use. The font we're using is Impact for this design. I want the offset that I create to flow around each letter without touching. So to do that, I want to increase the character spacing between each of my letters. The difference between this platform and my Cricut, automatically Cricut fills in your design. In Silhouette Studios, you have to fill it. So for this first layer, I'm gonna set my fill color to orange. Next, I'm gonna drag and resize my design. And finally, I'm gonna create my first offset. This is where you can get a little creative on how much of an offset do you want. I know I didn't want my letters touching and I didn't want a chunky offset, so I landed at 0.070. This layer of offset is going to be a knockout, meaning it's going to represent my shirt and not any of my vinyl layers. To represent the shirt, we're gonna color this one black. Going to our Modify tab, we're gonna compound this one to make. We're gonna create another offset layer, and this is gonna represent my next layer of vinyl, which is going to be blue. Now on to our rhinestone layers. To have our rhinestones fan out the way that I have it on the shirt, we're just gonna create offsets. We're gonna create offsets on top of offsets for layers of 5. So I'm gonna take you through the first one. Our first offset is gonna be our first layer of rhinestones. So you wanna increase the distance away from your letters as far as you want them to start. I landed at about 0.200. Once you're comfortable with the distance, hit apply and then move on to your next offset. I'm gonna keep adding offsets for how many rings of rhinestones I want spread out. So I'm gonna do about 5. Once that's complete, it's time to turn each of these layers into rhinestones. We're gonna click the layer closest to the nicks and then hit the rhinestone tab. We're gonna start with selecting our rhinestone size, which is 10, and our rhinestone effect. The effect we're going for is spread out. As you can see, this changes the line into rhinestones immediately, but my rhinestones came in a little too close together, so I'm gonna increase the spacing to increase the space between each rhinestone. Once I'm comfortable with the spacing, I'm gonna fill the rhinestones gray to mimic rhinestones and move on to the next layer. I'm gonna do this until I'm all the way to the 5th layer. Each layer, note that I'm gonna be changing the spacing a little more to mimic that spread out effect. So when I go into the 2nd layer, I'm gonna spread my rhinestones a little bit. I'm gonna spread them a little bit more on the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th. The 5th is gonna be the most spread out, so it mimics that shattered effect. And there we have it. All of our rhinestones are complete and are on the template, but you will see 2 rhinestones that are between the K and the S. We wanna get rid of those. So the way to do that is we're gonna click that layer, which is the first layer, and then we're gonna hit Release Rhinestones. Once we release the rhinestones, I can go in and delete individual rhinestones where I don't want them to fall. Once those are deleted, I'm gonna group this layer back together, download my file as an SVG, and upload my file into Cricut Design Space. In Cricut Design Space, you're gonna upload your file like you normally do. It's all gonna come in as one entire file that is grouped together. We're gonna resize our design back to the measurements we did in the beginning to fit our shirt, and then we're gonna get ready to cut. I actually decided to just eliminate the knockout, so I'm just gonna ungroup and get rid of the black layer. So now it will just be the orange on top of the blue and then my rhinestones. To do that, I'm just gonna select it and delete it. One additional step I need to do is to attach my layers. The K and ICKS all came in individually on both layers, both the orange and the blue. So I need to make sure I'm attaching before I go to cut. Otherwise, all the letters will come in mixed and out of order, which makes it difficult to press. Now that everything is attached, it's time to cut. For this video, we're mainly gonna focus on the rhinestone layer. If you have any questions on any of the other HTVs, please drop it in the comments and I will get back to it. Now to get our mat prepped for cutting. After cutting your magic flock down to size, you wanna take off the back end that comes on it. You wanna put sticky on top of sticky. So we're pressing the sticky side of the magic flock onto our Cricut mat. We wanna make sure this is as smooth and as flat as possible so that we get even cuts all around. When cutting the flock, you do not need to mirror your design. I found that the 350 cut setting worked best. After cutting, before you release your mat, just lift the corner and double check that your cuts went through. Once our cuts are made, we're gonna weed this out. This is one of the easiest weeds ever. Just pull it off the mat, and then we're gonna adhere it to the desk to get ready for the rhinestones. Magic flock is super sticky, and to get our rhinestones into the holes, we wanna adhere it to something super flat and smooth, so the rhinestones can fall into their spaces evenly. I've seen people use different tools for this step, but I found that this brush works perfectly. Once I have the majority of holes filled, I'm just gonna go back through with a rhinestone pen and fill in the additional holes. Our last step is to place our transfer sheet. The magic flock comes with heat-resistant transfer sheets. Do not try to use anything else, otherwise it can melt on your heat press. When peeling back a transfer sheet, you wanna do it as slowly as possible, just making sure that you pick up each and every one of the rhinestones. As the rhinestone layer is the last layer I'm gonna press, I'm gonna actually use the back of the transfer sheet to store my rhinestones. So I'm putting back the back on top of it, and then I'm moving my rhinestone sheet to the side. The great thing about Magic Flock is that it can be reused. So all you have to do is put the back on and store it until the next time you have that design. Now to weed everything else and get to pressing. We're gonna set our heat press to 250 for 15 seconds. This is gonna be for our vinyl layers. Now to add our rhinestones, we're gonna change our heat press settings to 320 and we're gonna press for 15 seconds. The rhinestone layer is a cold peel. I'm not really a bling girl, but I kinda like this. Here's the finished product. Yes, I know it's another Nick shirt, but guess what? That's my team, so I'm gonna rep it all the time. Just some key takeaways from the video. Your time matters, and for me, I wanted to maximize my time and found an investment that can go a long way. So if you're ever interested in joining these together, I think they work really well. I can see myself making a couple more rhinestone designs, and maybe I'll sell some digital SVGs. Who knows? But I now have the software to help me with that. If you like content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, bye!